Hey, if you love live music events, you're going to be interested in hearing this interview. Rock on Water is coming back to Jeffersonville after a little bit of hurdles. But today we have the event organizer, Scott Shireman, with us. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Mike. I'm so blessed by your support, man. Thank you.
Hey, glad to have you back. We're gonna get to kind of some of the challenges that you had this year.
Sure.
But before we do that, just give people an overview of the event for those who don't know, what is Rock on Water?
Sure. Rock on Water is the region's largest free Christian music festival in the whole region, and free being the optimal word there. There's a lot of great festivals around, and they're not free to put on, but to make it free, we're so grateful we get to do that through sponsors. But this is our 10th year, so it's amazing. We've been going 10 years. It's a pretty big deal for us, a celebration, and it's just a place where we can come and openly worship and praise through music in a public setting, and a great venue. The Riverstage in Jeffersonville is a great venue. We've been there for 10 years now, and so it's a lot of bands. There's food trucks there. There's bouncy houses for the kids. It's September 10th, starts at 4 o'clock and goes to about 9:45 ish, something like that. And we've got something for everybody.
Yeah, that's great. It's I've attended a couple of times. Last year you had the 10th anniversary, or maybe you had the anniversary memorial of 9/11. Kicked that off as such a a goosebump moment watching that unfold. Hey, so this year's event almost didn't happen. It was essentially dead and came back to life in a matter of days. What happened there?
Well, we are so grateful for our partners, and the city of Jeffersonville has been our longest standing partner. This started by me going to the city of Jeffersonville and saying, you guys should have an event. And they said, this is a great idea. Why don't you do it? And so it's our event, right? So we're partners. They're a partner of ours. They came to us and they had some challenges with some things regarding the stage and it being able to be used for our date. And they very kindly came to us and said, hey, we're not going to be able to host it, can we move it somewhere else? And we looked at a couple avenues there. And then basically it just came back to where the city said, we're going to make it happen. It's important to the city. It's important to us. We know how important it is to you folks. And they fixed and made everything whole and came back and said, please move forward with it. So we did. It was 72 hours of kind of confusion and some juggling on our part, but God's in charge, man. We're a Christian organization, and God's going to be glorified whether the event happens or it moves or whatever. All things happen for the good of those who believe in God. And it's times like that where you get to walk out your faith just a little bit more in public and just I had no idea the reach of our event, Mike, until this happened. It's always amazing how God will use something like that to open your eyes a little bit wider. We had people praying for us, sending us messages, emails, letters, telegrams, man, every way they could contact us from all over. I mean, way outside our region.
Yeah.
And we had no idea that our reach was that big. It was really fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting to watch on social media. One day you're promoting the event and just excited about what's to come, and then you have a post about, hey, it's canceled. I'm sorry to everyone. And then, like you said, 72 hours later, rejoicing again that the event is back on. So, hey, I know some little bit of turmoil there, but glad that the event is back on. Rock on Water, 10th year, Jeffersonville Riverstage. Tell us about this year's lineup. What bands can we expect to see?
Yes, sir. And amen to that, man. We are so excited. It is, 10 years. I look back to our first year. We didn't know it was even going to go beyond that. There was no plans for it to be an annual thing. And to think that it's 10 years later is amazing. And, just a big shout out to Kaiser Home Support Services. They're our big sponsor, our platinum sponsor, and we have many sponsors, but thanks to them for making it free. So here's what to expect this year. So we are on Saturday, September 10th. The event was on Sunday for years, and a couple of years ago we got to move it to Saturday. We were really excited about that because it gives families an opportunity. They don't have to get kids up and going to school the next morning and stuff. It makes it a little bit easier for them. But I'll start with, so we have a lot of really great food trucks going to be there. So you won't go hungry, and the food's very economically priced. As a promoter, we don't take a cut off any of that. Some promotion companies, do that, so the vendors have to raise their price to cover that. We don't do any of that. So it's very family friendly and economically friendly. And our talent this year, we sat down, we start planning this 6 to 8 months out. Okay. As far as booking talent and stuff. And we sat down and said, man, this is our 10th anniversary. We just want the bands we really, really want there. I mean, these are the guys that we know we've worked with before at other shows. And not only their music speaks the message we want to deliver to people, but we've worked with them behind the scenes, and their heart is really in this for the right reason. So that selected who we picked. Mm-hmm. So we're going to kick off the night with a local friend of ours, Joel Jackson. He's also a movie producer, talented singer-songwriter. He's going to kick it off. A little band called Hush Harbor is going to play after that, a regional band, Hush Harbor. And then we've got a band coming from Oklahoma called Chaotic Resemblance. We've had Chaotic Resemblance at a couple of our events. They're a harder rock band, but man, they deliver the message of Christ and like no other. Their hearts are in it for the right reason. Mm-hmm. Then we have our first Christian rapper coming in, and a guy named Bobby Wade. We met Bobby at a festival we went to out in Missouri last year, and just fell in love with his message. He's just got a great message. His story, I won't even try to tell you his story here, but great message. And it's our first rapper. So you can see we're trying to hit every genre we can to do things. And then we have some friends of ours, The Protest. They were at Rock on Water about 6 years ago. We had them in, and again, just a great group of guys. And then we have a really big surprise. So we were sitting and we were like, okay, who are the bands we really want, right? And we're talking about the bands so far to where I'm at. And I'm like, man, I wish Carrollton was still a band. So Carrollton disbanded a couple of years ago after COVID happened and some things, and they disbanded and started doing other things. And they'd been 10 or 12 years, I think they'd been a band. And I was like, I'm going to call them. So I picked up the phone. I called my buddy Michael Loy in Carrollton, and I just said, Michael, this is our 10th anniversary. It's a really big deal to us. And, we don't take it for granted we're going to have next year or any more years for this. Maybe, if this were going to be it and our last one, our 10th anniversary, is there any way Carrollton would get back together and play this one show? And they got back to us in like an hour and said, yeah, we're all in. And it's their only show they're doing. They're reuniting the original lineup just for this one show, and we couldn't be happier about that. So that alone would be a great show. And then we have our good friends Disciple out of Nashville, a heavier rock band that's got a following across the country. It's amazing. And it's a great lineup. It'd be a great lineup for 25, 30, $40, but for free, it's a fantastic lineup.
Yeah. I mean, you have everything from local recording artists to nationally known. I mean, Carrollton, the reunion, it's a big deal. And I'll send everybody to the Rock on Water Facebook page. If you're not tracking there, Carrollton did a nice little in the car video for you to announce they're coming out of retirement. So you can track that there, get more information about the event there, and we'll make sure that we link to that. So it sounds like a great lineup, maybe even a little bit more bands than you've offered in years past. Is that fair?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, it's 7 artists. That's a lot for an event. And, we had to condense some of the sets a little shorter than normal, but, everybody was fine with that. It's one of the things working with Christian artists, man, they're so easy to work with. I mean, they're just flexible and easy. And even during the little hiccup we had there, they were all so gracious and kind and more concerned about us than they were about them, and that's a great message, right? I mean, that is a great message. But we're just so excited, man. It's our biggest one yet, and we think it's going to be our best. And we really hope that people will come out, obviously to support the bands that they like, but man, more importantly, a couple things if I can. One, we want people to bring somebody out that doesn't know anything about Christian music and thinks maybe they have a preconceived idea or what being a Christian is like. Come out and see. You can have a whole lot of fun. It's not, we're not sitting there wringing our hands, at the Riverstage. We're having a great time, and it's very lively and happy and fun. And then secondly, we want folks to not take it for granted that we're always going to be able to have open Christian public worship events like this in a public setting. Let's just don't take that for granted. I'm not trying to be a doomsday or anything like that, but our world is forever changing. And we just think it's important to show the world by attendance and people showing up just how important it is for us to be able to worship together.
Yeah. Yeah. And the events that I've been to, Scott, to your point, they have always been well attended. You get there and the lawn is full and you got people out on the streets. So we encourage people to come out and take part in this event. You got the vendors, your supporters. They also have booths and food trucks and things like that. I know in years past you've had some giveaways and things like that. Is that happening again?
Yeah, we'll have some giveaways, have some autograph stuff from bands, CDs, posters, drum heads, guitars, all that kind of stuff. And all you got to do is go, when you get to the event, there's a big table there. It says Rock on Water, and there's registration slips, and you fill it out and drop it in. Usually a couple days after the event, when I bounce back after a couple days, we'll do some Facebook live drawings on the Rock on Water Facebook page. And I'll call people too. They don't have to watch it live, but I like to do it, record it, and then call them and then launch it. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And we've got some great partners involved with that too. If it wasn't for all these folks helping us make this happen. And I want to give a real big shout out. You're going to see volunteers there wearing Rock on Water shirts. Everybody involved with our organization is a volunteer. From me, everybody. And no one's making an opinion. They do this because they love it and they believe in our ministry. And if you see a volunteer, just say thanks. If you could, just say thank you. I try to get around and thank everybody, but I always feel like I can't do enough for those folks. Without them, it would not happen. It certainly would not happen.
Yeah. Well, it is a big production. It's Rock on Water. They're going to be in their 10th year. The lineup is going to literally blow it out of the water. Scott, give us the logistics of the event: date, time,
Sure.
hotels, all the
Absolutely.
specifics.
So the first thing, rockonwaterfestival.com is the website, and it has all the information I'm going to tell you now. So you can go to rockonwaterfestival.com. And we do have a hotel. If you are coming from out of town, you want to get a hotel, there's a discount at the Sheraton, which is walking distance to the event. It's just right down the street. It's worth it just to have a great parking spot to get a room. Okay. You can park your car there, walk down. You got a room to go to at the end of the night, dinner. So there's a discount code there on our website. So it is September 10th. It's going to start at 4:00. And you can get there early. I encourage you to get there early. If you want a good spot, bring your lawn chair, bring your blanket. It is a tiered amphitheater lawn style. Don't bring your pets. Don't bring pop-up tents. You can bring a cooler. If you want to bring a small cooler with some stuff for your family, absolutely. But we will have some great food vendors there. And it's going to be fantastic. There'll be people throwing out shirts from the stage and giveaways and drawings and bouncy house free for the kids a couple hours before the show, right up until showtime starts, and we take it down. And we think it's going to be a big deal. We think it's going to be full. I think God's going to fill it up, and we're just so grateful for that we get to do it again this year for our 10th anniversary. We couldn't be more excited.
Yeah. Scott Shireman, Rock on Water. That festival's coming up September 10th. We'll get a link to the website and to the Facebook page. Scott, as always, thank you for coming on. Thanks for putting on this event. If you care about local, this is a great event. If you care about Christian music, this is your event in the region, not just in Southern Indiana, but in the region. Scott, again, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate it. God bless everybody.